You all listening right now are not prepared for the truth that will come out at the end of this episode. My mind is shattered. My entire existence is destroyed. Ovaltine is suing me. Wade is an ancient eldritch being, and nothing makes sense anymore. Prepare yourself. Hello and welcome to Go My Favorite Sports Team, the podcast about sports, and I have to be a little bit quiet because someone's sleeping downstairs, so I can't scream.
Well, welcome to Go in honor of Mark, because I can kind of yell. But apologies for the lack of an episode last week. I had a medical procedure done last week, so that kind of put me in the back burner. And then Mark hadn't slept for a while, so he needed the rest. So that's why there was an episode last week. I felt that was necessary to explain. But Mark, did you see this post on the Reddit of how someone almost got fired watching Go?
No, I didn't see that. What happened?
Okay, I sent you the link. I'll send it to you again. I just want you to read the story because I've read it already through myself, but I want you to enjoy it for yourself.
From Monica2796, how Go My Favorite Sports Team almost got me fired, a series of unfortunate events. I work at a big tech company, LLC, and we have an open seating model of office space. I also am a manager of two separate internal teams, so my main job consists of working on investigations into customer support issues that give me access to sensitive data. The primer I was listening to at the time was JQ's Contest Part 1. Our story begins on a brisk Wednesday. I was finally finished with all my afternoon meetings, so I grabbed a seat at an open desk in my sector and got myself prepared for the rest of the workday. Plugging in my laptop to my external monitor, put in my headphones, and played my favorite podcast, Go My Favorite Sports Team, as I began plucking away at an important spreadsheet I was working on. Every so often, agents under me would pop over for questions, but nothing out of the ordinary, and after a few hours, I head home to close the day out from there. The next week, while working from home, I saw an email come in from HR with my boss attached, asking me to join a meeting later that evening. I looked at the email confused because I had just recently received perfect scores on my last performance review, even so much as to receive a raise from it, so I knew this couldn't be performance related. I responded quickly, and within the hour, I jump into the meeting, which goes as follows. HR. Hello. I'm HR. Sorry to pull you into this meeting on such short notice. Do you have time to answer a few questions? Yeah, of course. Did I do something wrong? We just received a report that we'd like to look into. Are you familiar with insert all privacy and data policies I have to remember here? Yes, of course. I remind my teams about them every week. We're very careful with everything, especially me with my job profile. And are you aware you may have possibly violated a few of these policies, which could lead to your direct termination? No. I had no idea. I understand. So then, let's get to your account of things. Can you please show me your calendar for April 7th and walk me through your workday? I walk him through all my meetings, and my manager, who is there, confirms I attended them. I then show timestamps of the sheet in cases I was working on. I have a full recounting of my day, as well as my access to social media sites, which again I need for my job, so nothing out of the ordinary. After answering a few more questions, HR finally gives me the rundown. Thank you so much for running on through all those questions with me. Everything seems to check out fine on our end, but to confirm you've never video called with, say, a significant other while on the work floor that day from your work computer, possibly laughing with them between assisting your team or working on this case. No, I've never done that. Did someone say that I was? Well, according to the report, it looks like you were witnessed doing a video call with someone on your laptop screen, who the reporter says was possibly a significant other, and you were possibly sharing your screen while working on an investigation. Here's the photo they were able to provide for clarity. Can you tell me who this gentleman is on your screen? At this point, he shares his screen, and on the photo you can see my spreadsheet on an external monitor, me in the middle, with my headphones on looking at the screen, and on another, in full screen, is Tyler, our master of balls and holes. I stare at the photo for a moment and my mind completely goes blank. HR then asks again if I can explain why this gentleman on my screen can be seen with a mic on and possibly at a computer or desk of his own, followed by a very lengthy explanation of how serious this could be if they could confirm this was a data breach or that I was sharing information on a case with people outside the company, that even this one strike could lead to termination. I finally snap out of it, shake my head, and frantically open my computer to the gmfst Spotify page. Over the next 30 to 45 minutes, I explained that that Tyler is from a podcast that I usually listen to while working from home, and that I was, at the time, listening to it in the office, which we are 100% allowed to do. I also had to explain that in no way, shape, or form do I know Tyler personally, and that he could not see my screen or interact with me in any way at the time the photo was taken, even going so far as to recreate the image as best I could using my monitors at home to give them a recreation of what had happened and how this whole thing is a big misunderstanding. They nod and we laugh a bit as we close things out, and I leave the meeting with no repercussions, but the notion that the report might sit around on my record as a pending case while they double check everything. I then told Discord about it after it happened, and we had to laugh. 2 months later on, the 11th of April, I finally had confirmation that I had the report completely scrubbed from my record, leaving me back where I was with a clean slate. And there you have it, everyone. Tyler will get you fired.
Almost get you fired. Almost.
Never listen to this podcast. The lesson has been learned. Or the lesson has been learned that word of mouth is the best way to spread this podcast, and so having it open on screen so your coworkers can think that you're having a delightful relationship with us is the best way to get more people to listen to this podcast.
Exactly. You know, fake relationships lead to more viewership.
Absolutely.
Especially if you listen to the dating primer. Although, you know, of all the ones they were listening to, the JQs one where we were half that episode was talking about the sex JQs. It's very interesting to have that one on during work.
I don't quite remember the sex JQs, so I'm sure that it's perfectly safe for work and completely platonic.
But that was a fascinating story because people complain about almost getting car accidents from Distractable and Go, but this was the first time somebody almost seriously lost their job due to our podcast, and I found it hilarious.
Yeah, there's a comment here that says 30 to 45 minutes of explaining what a podcast is crazy. Are the HR people that out of touch? That is really interesting, but also at the same time, it probably isn't too crazy to think that someone full screen with headphones on and a microphone is not someone that you're talking to, because it really seems like it would be to someone else.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, if we want to get into the out of touchness, if anybody who's listening to this podcast or watching this podcast ever watched when the CEO of TikTok came and talked to congressmen here in the States and how he had to explain how Wi-Fi worked to them. There's a level of some people just don't understand things. And then video podcast is still a relatively new thing. And the tech field and everything else is constantly evolving. Older generations aren't able to keep up with it necessarily as well. And even we don't keep up with it perfectly as it continues to unfold.
Hey, don't talk to me about that. I keep up with technology incredibly well.
Well, yeah, you do. I don't.
Steiger Dynamics. I know tech.
You're so on top of the tech. You actually are. Because it's a field that fascinates you.
Yeah, of course it fascinates me. I could talk all about tech all day long, but people don't like it when I talk about that because apparently my passions aren't worth listening to because no one cares about what I really care about.
I care. I enjoyed hearing you talk about lenses.
I'm not talking to you. Hey, HR, someone's talking to me. Yeah, I'm looking at you, HR. You're a big bag of poopy, and this employee thinks that you should go suck eggs and also dig. Hey, Alexa, quit my job.
Oh my God.
Hey, Siri, message my boss. Tell him, fuck you.
Hey, Google, fire me.
Do we all work for Google? Yeah. I hope I got one of you fired.
Next headline on World News. Podcast gets person fired.
God, man, I really hope so. Man, can this be the podcast of firing? Listen, if you don't listen to me talk about my passions, I'm going to get you fired. I will get you fired. Guaranteed. You're going to be fired.
And you're going to be happy about it because we're going to give you freedom from your job.
I don't think that's going to work.
Probably not. But Mark, you're going to love the topic today. It is tech-based. It's another motorsport. You remember that one that you categorized as I like left?
That I categorized?
Did I say that instead of categorized?
You sure did, yeah.
Gosh darn it. These drugs that are helping me sleep are really messing with my brain.
Go left the sport. We all know about it.
Yes, it's called NASCAR. Do you know what the letters for NASCAR stand for?
North American Sport Car and Racing.
You weren't too far off. It's the National Association.
No. North American Stock Car ass ream.
Not allowed steering curves against right.
No. Oh, still can't access.
It stands for National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing. what do you know about NASCAR?
What are we talking about? I thought we already talked about NASCAR.
No, we've done Formula One. We've done motorsport. We have not done NASCAR.
What kind of technology could possibly be in NASCAR that I would care about?
Well, it requires a very intricate engine system with exhaust manifolds to conserve fuel while increasing power, aerodynamics to keep it stuck to the ground and around curves and steering. You know, all the mechanical engineering parts you could imagine in a car, heightened to the extreme without going as far as Formula One, but maintaining the same sort of frame as like a normal stock car that comes off the line.
All right, everybody, before you tune out, say that sexier.
The roar of an engine, the smell of gasoline fumes, the revving, the vibrations. No?
All right, stop. Say it stupider.
Car with big engine, go fast, big smart muscle car, vroom vroom, tires screech, stuck to pavement, air push car down.
That doesn't sound stupid at all. That just sounds like they don't speak English very well, but it was a pretty good accuracy.
Oval turn.
Oval turn. Oh, you remember to drink your Ovaltine, everybody. Is Ovaltine even a thing anymore? That was the only reason I know that is because from Christmas Story.
Ovaltine is still a thing.
It better not be. Ovaltine, you're on thin ice. If you think that you can show up in my neighborhood, you better get another thing coming.
I wonder if Ovaltine sponsors NASCAR. Hold on.
Do you think Ovaltine has their own AI? Because everyone's getting an AI in there. Hey, Ovaltine, fire me. Okay, so NASCAR, right?
Yes.
Go on.
Okay. It requires intense focus and endurance. You're going around the lap like 200 times, over 100 miles per hour. Hours of driving in extreme heat, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit inside the car throughout the entire race. There's no AC. You're literally in the car driving the entire time. There's no switching out drivers in NASCAR. There's one driver per car.
Do they piss their pants?
They probably have the same thing like the mushers, the ski guys.
What? The what? What are you talking about? What? Same thing as the who?
The dog sled race. You know how they had the tube that made it pee down their pants and then come out their foot?
I don't quite remember that. What I remember is they peed out the back really hard to make themselves go faster. That's what I remember being the conclusion of that. And then they they eat Diet Coke and Mentos so that they can blast ass as hard at supersonic speeds so they can get just a little more boost. You gotta get every advantage you can, right?
Yeah, so it's it's that concept, but in a car.
No, what they do is they drink Ovaltine and it makes them shit themselves so hard. Hey, Ovaltine, sue me.
Disclaimer. Markiplier's statements regarding Ovaltine are purely satire and are not meant to be taken literally. He probably hasn't even drank Ovaltine before.
Fuck you, Ovaltine. I've always hated you. Everyone's always hated you.
It's Pedialyte now. Everybody loves Pedialyte. Fuck you, Ovaltine.
And that goes for you too, Tyler.
Ovaltine was apparently founded in 1904. You know what else was in 1904? Not the FDA.
Hold on. 1904?
Yeah, 1904.
That was when the Olympics were the worst of all time.
Oh, I wonder why. Everyone is too busy blowing up the toilets to be able to perform from their Ovaltine. They might actually sue me. I feel like this is reaching levels of disparagement that are criminal.
Yeah, just make sure you mute it or bleep it.
No, don't bleep it, but just write a disclaimer every time I say something that says like, this is a joke, this is satire, this is satire. Say like, this is satire really big, and that'll clear me. That's I'm innocent if I do that, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a joke.
Also, sorry if that sounded terrible when I was moving my laptop. I had to it's propped up on a pillow right now.
No, you're good. You're good.
But don't worry, I've got my MacBook studio quality microphones here. Just as good as a regular microphone, right?
Sounds great. You sound completely the same.
I would be willing to bet it's better than a bathroom.
Honestly, the audio from that episode was pretty damn good.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either.
Back to NASCAR.
They shit themselves.
It's a mix of competition and teamwork because you got to deal with your pit crew and all the other people. You got spotters. You got you got people telling you through the headset what's going on in the race if there's a crash, and you want to slingshot around people, and you might have a teammate in NASCAR. So NASCAR is a popular motorsport, especially in the United States. It's ingrained into popular culture with over a dozen movies made about the sport. Cars, Talladega Nights, that one with Tom Cruise in it that I can't remember the name of right now. Days of Thunder, that's the name of the movie. NASCAR also causes some debate amongst friends, since fans of the sport tend to be especially diehard. My neighbor was a big Dale Earnhardt fan, and just because he was a Dale Earnhardt fan, I decided to be a Jeff Gordon fan, and we fought all the time. But Jeff Gordon won more, so. But I also, Dale Earnhardt, rest in peace. Big guy. Well, many people just don't get why people watch it because the left turn, the popular joke is they just drive in circles.
Technically they do. So that's true.
It's completely untrue because it's an oval, not a circle.
Oh man, I hope there's a lot of jacuzzas about that one. Oh man, I'll bring up the pedantic jacuzzas. Ugh. Good thing you're not the master of circles. And don't even get started on like a hole is a circle because it's not. It's a cylinder.
But it's not always necessarily a cylinder.
I'm sorry. How many one-dimensional holes have you seen?
Well, there's a doorway is a hole.
Yeah, but it's not flat. There's still depth to it.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
But NASCAR drivers, while they may not have the variety of tracks of Formula One tracks with multiple turns, they still need endurance, skill, and focus to drive at speeds of up to 200 miles per hour for about 3 to 4 hours at a time.
How long do Formula drives take?
Formula One Grand Prix race is designed to last about 90 minutes, but some races can be longer or shorter. That's what I have. But the NASCAR All-Star race and the Coca-Cola 600 is happening this coming Sunday. It's a perfect time to talk about NASCAR, one of America's favorite sports.
Is it?
It is, because America!
I suppose. I mean, other countries, they like to watch things go fast too, so we can't really say that's all about America. It is a very distilled version of it.
Formula One is international. NASCAR seems to be primarily focused. They've garnered some fans outside of the States, but mostly the fandom for NASCAR is within the U.S.
I just, why always the oval? All the other races around the world have different tracks that go around different speeds. They have bends. They have different kinds of longs and shorts and stuff like that. Why always the oval?
I think it has to do with the design of the car. They have traditionally, they have designed the cars specifically to deal with the oval track because the curves then are all banked. Whereas in Formula One, they're not that way. They stay flat. So they have to really focus on the downforce. And so they're able to design cars that are able to withstand that a lot more than a higher center of gravity stock car that's designed for NASCAR. And also, I think it also stems to tradition from when it first began, but there are some NASCAR tracks that are not just oval. I think there's like 1 or 2 a year or something like that in NASCAR where it's has different turns than just oval.
Are you going to talk about the dude that kept the gas going right at the end of the race and rode the wall?
I don't have it in my notes, but it was something I was going to bring up, which also got outlawed, by the way. It's no longer allowed.
Yeah, right.
All right, so let's get into the history of NASCAR. Act 1. So stock car racing dates back to the Prohibition era, which began in 1920. And a stock car is technically a car that you would find stocked at a local car dealership, right? One that is mass produced, comes off an assembly line, and available to the public. That's the origin of what stock car is and stock car racing. In the 1920s, fast vehicles were used to transport alcohol throughout the United States, and these cars looked normal on the outside, but were modified for increased speed and handling. Many had floorboards and seats removed to reduce weight, but also to store the bootlegged alcohol. And these modified cars were also perfect for racing. So after Prohibition was repealed in 1933, stock car racing remained popular, and drivers continued transporting moonshine in the South. During the 1920s and 30s, the preferred location for speed record competitions was Daytona Beach, where drivers raced on a 4.1-mile course that featured a 1.5 to 2-mile stretch of beach as a straightaway, and a beachfront highway as another part of the course. Over time, cars got faster, which helped improve the racing scene in Daytona. Bill France Sr. moved to the area in 1935 due to the Great Depression and entered the 1936 Daytona race, placing 5th. France then began running the course in 1938, and then in 1947, he met with other promoters and racers to discuss forming a sanctioned body for the races, which led to the formation of NASCAR in 1948. First NASCAR event was held on February 15th, 1948 at the Beach Road course in Daytona, but the first official NASCAR stock car race took place on June 9th, 1949 at Charlotte Speedway in North Carolina with a crowd of 13,000 spectators.
For the first event, that's quite a lot.
The race consisted of 200 laps that equated to 150 miles, and cars at that time reached top speeds of around 68 miles per hour. 33 drivers participated in the race, including NASCAR's first female driver, Sarah Christian, who finished in 13th place.
In the very first race?
In the very first official race, they had a female driver.
That's pretty cool.
On February 22nd, 1959, the 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway hosted the first Daytona 500.
Is it 500 because 500 laps?
It's 500 because it's 500 miles.
Boo. Whatever. Sure.
More than 41,000 fans attended the inaugural event, but the winner wasn't decided until 61 hours after the race finished, since it was too close to call.
61 hours?
It was 1959.
How long did it take them to look at the photo? Oh, is this like a really slow developing picture? Do they really have to I don't know, ump the contrast on it?
They didn't have anyone in-house taking a photo of the finish line, so Lee Petty was declared the winner by 2 feet after footage from a newsreel was reviewed.
Okay.
They had to track down other people that were taking footage of the event.
Man, crazy lucky that there actually was footage of the event. I was just talking earlier how, it's weird. There's no footage of me as a child.
Are you serious?
Do you have footage of you as a child?
Mm-hmm.
There's no footage of me as a child.
My dad was into cameras.
Yeah, no, my dad was not. He was into computers, but not cameras. I have next to no evidence that I was a living, breathing child. I've got pictures, but that doesn't showcase breathing.
That's true. Do you know if Wade has videos of him as a child? I wonder if we can actually find the fact that he was actually born way before us, like you claim.
I'm glad you said fact, because it is absolutely true. That man is older than the ages. I think he's timeless, but he doesn't know it. It's kind of the thing where he is reborn and his memories get purged every once in a while. So that man invented Ovaltine, probably.
Wade is the Ovaltine man.
Actually, I would not be surprised if I texted Wade right now and I asked him if he likes Ovaltine. I bet he'd say yes.
No, do it, please. I have to find this out. I don't know. If you text him, he might answer.
What does that mean? You never text him for anything.
It means he might think it's extremely important.
No, he's told me that the only thing you texted him for was to ask him if he had extra footage.
No, I've texted him about other stuff. He slanders me all the time.
Mm-hmm. No. Well, we're about to slander him. Hey, do you like Ovaltine?
I'm sending him too. We'll see who responds first.
Well, now he's going to know something's up. Before it was going to be a secret.
Nope, I unsent it. He never saw it.
I forgot you could do that. Pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay.
So Daytona 500 went on to become the most well-known NASCAR race in history, and it still is. NASCAR's longest and second most popular race, the World 600, is now known as the Coca-Cola 600, which happens this weekend. Started in 1960 and is held on the last weekend of May each year. Early NASCAR cars were identical to the cars you drive on the street. They were stock cars and had real doors, but doors became a safety issue for drivers because they could open, causing the driver to be thrown out of the car. And as you imagine, at those speeds, kind of hard to avoid somebody who falls out of their own car as you're driving along.
You don't need doors. Who needs doors?
Exactly. So they removed the doors. And if they detached from the car, the door did, it would hit other cars and possibly kill other people that way. So as the sport evolved, doors were required to be bolted and welded shut. 1967, NASCAR cars were created without doors, ending the era of them being stock cars officially in NASCAR. While NASCAR is still called stock car racing to this day, but at the beginning of the 1980s, only the outer body was stock. The parts inside were custom tailored for racing. So they're stock car in the sense that they have the shape and design. So the body is still a stock car design, but the rest of it is completely different.
Now he texted back, I don't know what it even is, LOL. And he definitely knows what it is. Haha, yeah, come on, man. When did you imbibe your first teen?
You texted him back.
Yeah, I'm asking when he imbibed his first teen.
But NASCAR has evolved over the decades. So did the cars, drifting further and further away from the stock car roots. Now stock car is just the name for the classic car and not the cars in the race. And not that the cars in the race are stock cars. Next Gen 7 cars debuted in 2022 and are a product of the NASCAR Research and Development Center, each part custom designed for NASCAR racing. Only the shape of the car bodies resembles their street legal counterparts.
So what's the point then?
So they still maintain the shape of a stock car. So by that definition, instead of going to the full Formula One route where you go completely to the extreme of perfection in auto racing, they still force them to have these cars that have technically more drag than Formula One cars.
So they have to keep the aerodynamics of what the car would have. Even if the engine is a monster, they have to deal with the limitations of what that is. So if a car manufacturer was to make a car that had its stock body was like an extremely aerodynamic monster, what would that mean for the race?
I believe the biggest thing that's required for it needs to be like a sports car. So like there's a picture I have here of like the Mustang, the new age Mustang, and the NASCAR body resembles the same Mustang body. It has added air vents and a few different other features, but outside of that, to cool the engine, it's the same. To get to that specificity, it no longer becomes an assembly car. Like the Dodge Viper is not an assembly car. So a Dodge Viper, technically, while it is a stock car that anybody could go up and buy, it doesn't fall into the qualifications needed for NASCAR. Listen, I'll be honest, NASCAR is so uptight about the rule book, you have to have a login and password to get into it. They're hiding shit, man.
Their rule book? Where do you get a login?
Their rule book, you need a login on their website to be able to access the information.
Wait, does nobody have a copy that they've put up on other sites?
Apparently not. I've looked for it. Our head researcher has looked for it.
How is that possible?
It's secret, man. They're like uptight CIA quality. Like they're hiding stuff.
How is Baby Mark even going to know how to exploit the rules if they won't even let anybody see what the rules are?
Well, if you don't know the rules, you can't be at fault for breaking them, right?
Well, then if you don't know the rules, then you can't be at fault for not breaking them either, because you don't know what the rules are.
Well, we don't know what the rules are, but apparently if you join NASCAR and start a team, which costs around $350,000, then you can get access to the rulebook.
Well, I guess if you were going to start a team, wouldn't you technically have to be a car manufacturer as well? Or is it about taking random stock cars and then modifying them?
I think it's about taking them, and it's usually through partnerships, because like this particular design that's designed around the Mustang seems to be sponsored by Mustang because it has Mustang on it.
That would make sense, yeah.
Which would be Ford, but yeah. NASCAR today sanctions more than 1,500 races around the world, and the Daytona 500 this year was viewed by 5.96 million people. It's time to race, Mark. We don't know the rules because they're locked up tight in a vault somewhere on the internet or not. A NASCAR track does have its specifications. Each track is slightly different, varies in length, ranging from less than a mile for short tracks to just over 4 miles. The Coca-Cola 600 takes place at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is 1.5 miles long. This means the drivers will need to do 400 laps to finish the race because they have to reach 600 miles.
600? I thought it was 500.
No, Coca-Cola 600.
Oh, sorry. You just said that?
Daytona 500.
Let's pretend like I was listening and backtrack and undo that embarrassing moment that I just experienced. Please? 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 Hey Siri, delete the universe. Hey Siri, hey Google, delete the universe.
I can't help with that on iPhone.
Hey Siri, please delete the universe. Oh, come on, you were talking before. Please fire me. Get me fired. Fire me. Is Ovaltine going to sue me?
Hey Siri, call mom.
Can't hear you. I'm hearing through here.
Yeah.
All right, it's not working.
But while each NASCAR track is roughly an oval shape, there are also pit lanes the drivers use to exit the track for the pit stop, so their team can be waiting to change the tires and check for issues and get them back on the track in seconds. This is what the motor speedway looks like.
Okay, for everyone at home, imagine that you're at the doctor's office. Oh, you're at a different doctor's office if this is here. You're at a plastic surgeon's doctor's office who specializes in breast implants, okay? And you've got one of their silicone boobs in your hand and you're looking at it and you hold it up to eye level so that it's sitting like nipple up, right? So you're looking at it from that angle and you hold it up to the sun and you notice that there's some like swirly patterns in some of the goop that's inside. What goop do they have inside? Hey Siri, what goop is in breast implants?
Saline-filled breast implants contain a silicone outer shell filled with a sterile saltwater, saline solution. Some are pre-filled and others are filled during the implant operation. Saline-filled implants come in different sizes and have either smooth or textured shells. This answer...
I like how she says saline once, but then it says saline.
No, the saline inside is making some interesting caustic patterns with the light playing against it. So there you go.
So this stretch right here. This is the pit lane.
No, that's the areola.
No, that's the pit lane. It looks like they have another racetrack here for whatever reason.
That's the nipple. Actually, it looks a lot more like an eyeball.
That's squished a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, equipment, baby Mark. We're gonna get you in this car, but we're gonna do it in a safe manner. We're doing the go-kart version of NASCAR.
Okay.
So you're gonna need to wear your fireproof clothing, fireproof socks,
Fireproof diaper.
fireproof underwear, fireproof driving suit, fireproof helmet, fireproof shoes, and fireproof gloves. Everything needs to be fireproof because things could explode and you go in a fiery burst of flames.
There could be fire, is what you're saying.
Yes, fire is a hazard when gasoline combusts. And then you got heat shields on the bottom of your shoes to protect them from melting from the engine heat in long races. NASCAR car has a steel tube frame with a roll cage designed to protect you. If there's a crash. These cars might be called stock cars, but you can't drive them on the regular road because they don't have headlights, they don't have brake lights, and they don't have turn signals. They're just stickers. That's why the joke in cars is, hey, stickers. Yeah.
Wait, what?
They put on stickers to look like headlights and taillights.
Wait, what?
It's got to look like a stock car, Mark, but no headlights.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? What?
They don't actually have headlights, taillights, or turn signals. They're just stickers.
Wait, what? No. Oh, God, I can see it. Oh my God. How did they keep that a secret for so long?
Because they locked their rule book behind a password wall.
You have probably blown the minds of thousands of people listening to this right now. I'd like to think that I have an attention to detail and I notice things. And it's not like I've watched NASCAR, but I bet there's some people that regularly watch NASCAR that don't know that those are stickers. Wow. I'm looking at this picture of this Toyota. Like this Toyota, I'll actually share this picture for ease of everything. Not ease of the editors. They don't like it when we do this, but the people gotta know. It's so obvious looking at this right now.
Oh my God, it looks like a face. It looks like Sid the Sloth from Ice Age.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
This looks so incredibly obvious right now. Like this is a PlayStation 2 car that didn't render like the glass and stuff. It's just a texture on it. How did they get... Oh my God. Is the license plate a sticker?
Yes.
Oh my God.
The front grill even, Mark, you see on that next one on Aaron's, that grill?
No, it is.
Stickers.
Oh. How? Oh. The tailpipes. Oh my God. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. There's even a 20 over the lights in this picture. There's a 20 over the lights. Oh, God, it's hideous.
Wait. Are those back windows also stickers?
What am I looking at?
It's plexiglass.
Okay, all right, okay.
At least I think it's plexiglass. It might be a sticker. I don't know anymore.
No, I think it's just a reflection of the roll cage in there. It looks weird because it's the roll cage. Yeah, I see it. There's like netting here and then the steel pipe there. Okay, it's not a sticker there. I don't know. It's real anymore, man.
So, as we saw from those pictures, Mark, NASCAR has this the roll cage inside, right? They don't have doors. The driver slides through the window-shaped hole, and there's no glass in the driver's side window.
The window-shaped sticker, you mean? They go through the sticker dimension into the car. They become a sticker. Yeah, they do. It's just like a sticker of them. Oh!
Current NASCAR cars are the Gen 7 or next gen cars introduced in 2022. The next gen models are the Chevy Camaro ZL1, Ford Mustang Dark Horse, and the Toyota TRD Camry. Those are the three models of cars, models that they use for racing. So they must specify what stock cars qualify for the body shape. Basically, the weight has to be about 3,200 pounds without the driver and fuel. I'm not going to get into the other measurements, but horsepower is 670 and transmission is a 5-speed sequential shift transmission. These cars are more aerodynamic than Gen 6 cars and have updated technology, independent rear suspension, and all the changes aim to make a safer and faster car. However, there's been some concern from drivers about the safety of next-gen cars, and they have harder impacts than the Gen 6 cars. So, because they're going faster. All NASCAR cars must use Goodyear Racing Eagle tires, and each team is only allotted a max number of sets of tires per team for a race to be used between practice and the actual race. So you have to factor in how many tires you want to use in practice and then make sure you save enough for the actual race.
So why can't you have more tires?
It's part of NASCAR rules. You're only allotted a certain amount of tires per race.
What if I stuff a tire down my pants and I say, like, I have the worst hemorrhoids, please don't ask, but I'm here to do my job, and just in case they need it?
Dude, if you can convince them, I think you could do it.
I have incredible charisma. Here, you be NASCAR rule man, and I'm walking up with a...
Excuse me, you only have an allotment of 8 sets of tires.
What? Yeah, I know, we're following the rules, man.
That certainly looks like a tire in your chest there.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Jesus Christ. All right. Listen, I know that breast cancer rates are, they're not talked about in men a lot, but I'm going through hell right now. Okay.
Do you have a doctor's note?
Oh my God. I was here for the race. I got here early to follow your rules, and I am going through a medical emergency, and you want to hear a doctor's note? Why don't you just take a look? Does that look normal to you? Does this look normal?
No, it looks like a tire.
I know. Isn't that ironic? You think of how many jokes I get when I drop my kids off.
They say you're tired?
No, they go tire tits, tire tits.
Oh.
That's what they say to me. Have you had enough? Am I embarrassed enough? Have you embarrassed me enough?
We'll follow up later.
That's what I thought. Yeah, we'll follow up later with my fist following up your ass. You're on thin ice. If I ever get access to the rules, I'm going to write a rule in there about how you are an asshole. Dun, dun, dun.
So you get one extra tire. Your team gets one extra tire for that.
I got one.
It's not a full set, but you have one extra tire.
I did it.
There's a balance between staying on the track as long as possible and risking a blowout or losing time and possibly running out of tires by making a pit stop. That's part of the thing.
Can you make a mid-race trade with another team for their tires?
I don't know the rules, so maybe.
That would be fun. It'd be fun.
NASCAR locks them up tight, so I don't get access to it. So all is fair is fair. So you can make up whatever rule you want, Mark. While NASCAR costs aren't quite the same level as Formula One, like I said, new next-gen cars are estimated to cost around $350,000. Though the exact cost isn't publicly available, that price tag doesn't average the $20,000 in tires a single team uses each race weekend.
This worked out so well last time, and people were so happy. Let me ask ChatGPT, okay, how much does a NASCAR car cost, but in equivalency to ladybugs? One NASCAR costs 26,119,402 ladybugs.
One NASCAR car?
One NASCAR.
But wait, is that NASCAR as a whole, or is that NASCAR car?
One car.
Also, here's my note of want to know the official NASCAR rules? Too bad! NASCAR is well known for not making their official rulebook available to the public. You need to log in with NASCAR credentials in order to view the official rules. Fans have wanted the rulebook to be public for decades, but so far, NASCAR hasn't made it available, mostly citing that it has proprietary information as the reason for the secrecy.
Proprietary? What could they possibly have in there?
They have the names of the people that own all of the companies in the world.
That's not a secret. That's publicly available.
They have the names of the alien race that truly invented microchips.
Wow, that's crazy.
They have the rules that say all NASCARs are at the cost of ladybugs.
They have the secret. It's just one page in the rule book, like, don't tell anyone NASCARs are made of ladybugs. Don't tell anyone. Don't. And then it's like 100 pages of don't do it.
NASCAR is just secretly the CIA racing actual alcohol around the world.
It could be. They do like running drugs. If there's one thing I know about the CIA is they love running drugs.
And alcohol is a drug.
It is. Don't do it. You're free to do whatever the hell you want to do, actually. That's the truth of it.
We recommend you choose your life as your own, but don't break the law.
Unless the laws are inherently unfair. Either way, Ovaltine, fuck you.
Call back. All right. NASCAR team. It's made up of a bunch of people. You got drivers. Each team can have up to 4 drivers per series race. So that would require 4 different cars. Crew chief. Similar to the head coach, they're in charge of everyone. The crew, how the car's set up, everything. Car chief. While the crew chief focuses on the big picture decision, the car chief is in charge of making sure the car gets the necessary work done and make sure any adjustments requested by the crew chief are taken care of. You got your engineers. You know what engineers are. You almost became one. Spotter communicates directly with the driver more than anyone during a race, lets driver know how different cars are doing so the drivers are safe to make certain rules. They also point out what lines other drivers are running. The driver asks for it. They let them know about wrecks or anything up ahead, different things like that. You got your tire changers, deal with the lug nuts and the air guns. You got the tire carriers, like you, shoving them in their shirt, carrying them around, hiding them, and then plopping them for the tire changers to put on the car. You got your jack man. He's jacked. He just lifts the car up, you know? He's got to be quick to lift, quick to drop. You got your fueler. He just shoves it in and fills that thing up, all right? You got your mechanic. Random tasks associated with the car, preparing the car for the race, maintenance check, everything, all that. Tire specialists in charge of the tires on the race car. They help interpret the data to see how the car is running to see when they should switch out tires. Engine tuner focuses on the engine, making sure it's durable enough to last the race, checks on it every now and again, make sure everything's running properly, and tunes it as necessary throughout the race. And then you got your transporter driver, which is your truck driver, who carries the whole team on with them and the cars. All right. Race time. Race starts. Driver has some time to mentally prepare. They get in their cars. Each team has up to 4 cars. The drivers compete against their own teammates and working with them. 5 minutes before the race, opening ceremonies. You know, quick prayer, national anthem. It's time for the drivers to make their way to the cars. And then the announcement from the grand marshal of the race goes, "Drivers, start your engines." And for the Daytona 500 this year, it was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson who gave that command. So the grand marshal can be a NASCAR team owner, celebrity, or even a driver. And the cars will now drive onto the pit road and head to the track, and they'll follow the pace car onto the track, and the pace car will lead the drivers in a lap to get everyone to their starting position. A lot of times you'll see the cars swerving. They're trying to warm up their tires to increase traction.
I do know about that, yeah.
Yeah, how drag racers like spin their tires and burn out to get the sticky.
Yeah.
During this time, they'll also check their communication devices as they're warming up with their pit crew. Once they're up to speed and all the drivers are in position, the race will begin as the first drivers cross the starting line. They'll be driving for a majority of the next 3 to 4 hours with only a couple breaks that last 10 or so seconds when their pit crew change the tires and refill their car. Races are usually broken down into like 3 or 4 stages, longer races like 4 stages like the longer race like the Coca-Cola 600. You have stage 1, which is about 81 laps, and they'll get used to the track, see how it affects their car, keep talking, putting in earplugs while the cars speed past the stands at 200 miles per hour. The fans need to have earplugs. With the first stage, then in stage 2, about 85 laps, you usually have a pit stop here. Driver doesn't have to stop at the end of the stage, but tires will start to wear, so they have to calculate that. While the second stage might be a good time to grab a snack, that doesn't mean nothing is happening in the race. Stage 3 is 101 laps, and this is the final push to figure out who's going to win with bold moves, fearless passes, and a bit of reckless driving. And even on that last final stretch, that one guy is just going to slam the pedal down and ride the wall around, slingshotting himself in first place like he did.
Now, why would they make that illegal?
Because safety. The driver knew the risk at the time, but you have to remember when he hit the wall and rubbed against that wall the whole time, debris was also flying off the car. Fans in the stands are right there. There are cages and walls to protect that, but there are instances where something could happen. It affects the road conditions for the people following up. There's safety concerns with relation to doing that. Plus, it also is at a massive detriment because then the cost associated with it, with the car, at that moment made sense for that team because it was like, we're not going to make it otherwise. The safety factors for fans, for spectators, for drivers in general, to get people to not do that again was important enough for them to implement a rule to be like, hey, no, you shouldn't do that. It was very smart at the time.
It was very smart at the time. One of those things where you say, like, it's an extremely dumb move that just happened to work out. I don't think it can ever be called as being smart, but pretty awesome, not gonna lie, pretty awesome. Could have killed a whole bunch of people, but still, it didn't. So, hey.
It worked out for him.
That's quintessentially American, is like, it could have killed people, but it didn't. Therefore, thumbs up, baby.
We risked it to the extreme, but it worked out. So good job, you.
Good job, me. There it is. I was trying to get that thumbs up to appear forever.
Oh, nice.
Look at this.
Why does that work for you and not me?
Because I'm on a MacBook, you dummy.
Oh, but for NASCAR, they have Cup Series events. 40 cars per race. You get points for your finishing, and whoever gets the most points at the end of the series ends up winning. First place is 40 points. Second place is 35. Down to 1 point for a driver who finishes 36th through 40th. And they accrue over the season to determine driver standings as well as the owner standings. And you earn race points through their performances in the various stages as well as the final finish. So stage 1 and stage 2 drivers are running first through 10th at the conclusion of stage 1, or stage 2 will receive points, starting with 10 for first, 9 for second, stuff like that. So the stages matter as well as the final finish. Following the 26th race of the season, point totals are reset for the 16 drivers who qualify for the playoffs. And then points are also reset after each of the first 3 playoff rounds. The 4 bottom ranked drivers of each of the first 3 race playoff rounds are eliminated. That means 12 to round 2, 8 to round 3, and only 4 drivers remain for the 1 race championship 4 round. But there are still drivers on the track. So they're still competing with the other drivers for those races. They're not just not on the track anymore.
Okay, understood.
It's just a point system to determine a winner of the overall NASCAR season.
Okie dokie.
And that's NASCAR.
There you have it, everybody. In summary, you put your stickers on your car, you put on your nice little suit, you hop in the window, and you drive left. You keep driving left for 4 hours.
In extreme heat conditions, in a basically around a 200 mile per hour drive the whole time.
Fun all around.
And the stickers make you go faster. If I've learned anything, if you put flames stickers on something, it's going to go faster. Thank you guys so much for listening. We have merch again in the store. We have our evergreen items back of the athletic tee and your favorite hat.
Wow, it's back.
It is now baseball cap style instead of dad hat style.
I don't know what the difference is.
It's more structured. It actually fits nicer on my head in particular. The dad hats always seem to like slip off if you have a lot of hair that's like curly like mine. It pushes it away. Whereas a baseball cap secures nicely on your head. It also has a hole in the back if you want that ponytail or something else if you have longer hair.
Store.gmfst.com. Go check it out.
And then we have the Reddit where you can put your JQs, which I'm sure you'll have a lot, especially if you work at Ovaltine. So go check that out, reddit.com/r/gmfst, all your JQs needs. And use the proper flair. You can also give us episode ideas and suggestions. Just give us a story with it. Don't just say, cover this. I think it'd be good. We need something that makes it compelling for us to consider. Anything else you want to say?
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll see you next time, whenever that is. Bye.
Bye.